Nuisance content creators continue to plague Japan as
What?
somehow the most interesting thing they can do for social media is
Wait, did that guy just leave? He just this guy. He's like, I'm going to work. Fuck this.
social media
And that guy
is
left.
making the Japanese uncomfortable.
Oh my
so
God.
much that there's now posters specifically
No circus performance? Oh, that is so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. Japan's calling us clowns. We're clowns.
stating Japan is not a theme park directed at somebody. So we'll go into the translations of those signs, how social media sites turn a blind eye to monetizing those
Oh my
unemployed
God.
behaviors, and why this is becoming such an issue that Japan had to make signs reminding people to have common decency. As the man that
can't
ran
be
that TikTok has regular videos
clowns.
on YouTube where he sounds super reasonable, so it's confusing how he could be so short-sighted with his Japan antics. As his group of tourists
God.
went to Japan to basically use their country as a background for their mediocre dance moves.
I mean,
now I do
they're doing K-pop dance cover.
understand that there is an entire genre of
There
dancing
is,
in public that thrives
TikTokers.
on social media, where they can get millions of views for doing so. And I'm obviously not doing videos criticizing those girls, not because of double standards, but because while on the surface they're all dancing in public to feature real-time reactions to their performances, it's just that these girls did it to feature the dances, while those TikTok tourists seem to feature the discomfort. As look at his view count when he's dancing in New York City.
No
or
one
bothering
cares,
people
right?
in their subways. It's not notable, so nobody cares to watch. Which are terrible view counts for someone with nearly 2 million followers.
The
But then he
shade.
can get millions of views through nuisance content. As
Nuisance
obviously
content.
everybody is uncomfortable with him,
Oh
so
my
he
God.
records, saves, and uploads this specific take to get the viewer engaged enough to watch the remaining 15
Oh my
seconds of dancing.
God.
And his audience calls him out, saying this isn't New York City, begging him to just leave
Bro,
these
leave
people
them alone.
pointing out just because you can doesn't mean you should. And
Yeah.
that wasn't the only video featuring his team forcing random Japanese people to
Wait,
be in their TikTok.
wait. Look at this dude. He's like, I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. He's like literally covering his face. The problem is when they filming like this, they didn't have any consent from any of these people. And these looks like underage. You know what I mean? They're underage, so they didn't really consent to being filmed. This was a public space, right?
Japanese people to be in their TikToks, where it seems like cruelty is the content.
Bro, stop!
And somehow TikTok looks the other way, labeling it
God.
as performed or supervised by professionals. Do not attempt. Just because you slap your Cash App in your profile doesn't mean you're a professional. And judging by their mediocre moves, even by TikTok standards, I don't think these are professional
No,
dancers.
they're not very
They're
good.
just
I dance
bullies,
better than that
as
guy.
these grown men only seem to want to bother the students.
I
As
know.
this dude seems to be keeping a careful eye on them while grabbing his girl, and they never seem to bother anybody like that. Not to mention all the girls holding their skirts as their signature move is sliding towards strangers.
Yeah,
Now, I would
it's
like to
perverted.
think that wasn't the intention, but intention and interpretation can be completely different, especially when you're a foreigner that doesn't even speak the language. As all these poor girls see are these very large men sliding towards them, not only disrespecting their cultural norms, but her personal boundaries as well. So she doesn't know what he might do next.
Yeah.
As you don't need to speak Japanese to know this means leave me alone. And I
Yeah,
just can't imagine
body
anybody
language
that's trying to build their brand
speaks a
online,
lot louder than
recording
words.
this, uploading it, and not understanding that this is going to forever ensure you will never land anything legitimate, as no brand or dance company in the world is going to take a risk on this resurfacing.
No.
And if this was just a one-off incident, maybe I could somewhat understand how they didn't realize Japan is in New York City. But judging by his TikTok page, which is in reverse chronological order, the video of them bothering people in the Japanese subway got
Fine.
millions of views, so they immediately returned
they're
to
shitty
it. And keep in
people,
mind, there
not
was
your
other
people.
subway footage that has since been removed. And what's worse is other clout-chasing idiots see these videos going viral, so they copycatted those actions in other Asian countries right after. This just sets the terrible precedence of tourists treating high-trust societies like Korea or Japan as a playground and the only way they can finally get people to pay attention to them. Further,
It doesn't help that any one of us go there, but you're right. It doesn't help. I mean, even if you're Caucasians, you go there. Like, I'm sure they just have a bad taste in foreigners' tourism. So I feel like if you don't look Japanese, they're just gonna feel kind of icky. They're like, oh my God, are you gonna about to break dancing or something?
deepening Japanese people's prejudices against us. as Japan straight up has a MAGA movement
What
now,
the actual
where I
fuck?
don't know if they just like the concepts of borders, conservatism overall, or maybe just the memes.
They made it to Japan? Why?
America proud again. We will make
What?
safe.
No way!
But we're now seeing posters saying no circus performances here in both Japanese and English, saying Japan is not a theme park, crossing out a guy with a
Wait, I did not see the flag.
or maybe just
What the fuck? Why? I did not see that before. Stop!
But we're now seeing posters saying no circus performances here in both Japanese and English, saying Japan is not a theme park, crossing out a guy with a very specific haircut, not commonly known to the Japanese. Also posting a sign that definitely couldn't be made in America, illustrating 3 individuals bothering an otherwise peaceful subway car.
Oh my
That roughly
God.
translates to, have manners, be aware of your surroundings, and care about the people around you. Specifically, be quiet,
in the
Now, I
car.
know people
No
would be offended by
breakdancing.
their particular choices in animals, but I really wonder if whoever made this poster did it specifically to drive a point home, as anybody posting this in a Western country would immediately be fired. But although
Yeah.
docile in public, Asian
That's
countries
crazy,
don't quite have
though.
the same chill as
Nah,
we do
that's
here.
kinda crazy.
And judging how that poster was mainly
They
written in
put
Japanese,
monkeys in
it makes
there.
me think they were exclusively communicating the message through the illustrations. As we have seen similar signs in New York City, showing an obviously Asian woman bothering what looks to be a Middle Eastern man, which is an interesting choice of representation,
Oh my
as
God.
I haven't been there in a while, but I don't recall there being an abundance of
That's
rambunctious
low-key
Asian
racist,
girls on the
though.
subway, so much that would warrant printing out and posting a sign.
I broke. I run no damn until look at that. Time for the birthday. 3 times for the birthday.
Okay, so maybe things have changed. The point being, it's not a race thing, it's a culture thing. And for a lot of those Japanese kids being bothered in those TikToks, they might have encountered 100 Americans that look just like that dancer, but they're probably only going to remember the one that slid towards their skirt, especially if he goes viral on social media,
Yeah.
bringing in an entire wave of copycats, all desperately trying to cash out on
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're trying to fight back, like, because a lot of tourism are being weird and racist towards them. They're gonna be racist back.
that nuisance Clout, which is forcing the Japanese to actually change the laws for all foreigners. As one of my favorite corners of YouTube is those walking through Japan
I love
in
these
4K
walking through
videos,
Japan.
as it just looks so peaceful
It's so
and clean,
fun.
making me incredibly jealous that Los
like a
Angeles
walking
doesn't look like
simulator.
this. So I hope that one day I'd make enough money to go visit, having unique adventures like Mario Karting through Tokyo, until I understood how much the locals actually hate it, as I imagine if I was late to work in my hometown and a bunch of hooligans were holding up traffic, treating my morning commute like a playground, I'd be pretty annoyed too. So I'd respect the country enough not to do it, as we want to visit the Japan seen in that serene 4K footage, not a Japan filled with American idiots screeching through the streets pretending they're Luigi. But it's always the
Luigi.
tourists that demand you respect their culture that never stop to think if they're disrespecting yours. As that rail company in Japan actually considered legal actions against the TikTokers. Other American
Oh.
tourists are getting arrested over their antics, while the Japanese city had to block the view of Mount Fuji to stop the foreigners from visiting.
Damn.
As the actions of a few short-sighted, selfish people can really ruin society
Yep.
for everybody.
Yep.
And the saddest part
One person ruined it for everyone. Actually, not one person. Probably a group of people ruined it for the majority of, Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep.
covering unemployed behaviors, not necessarily to
Unemployed
dump on anybody,
behavior!
but to hopefully show them the bigger
That's the
picture and
shade.
possibly prevent the next generation of nuisance streamers. But more importantly, to protect what's left of Japan before I can finally save enough to go visit. So if you appreciate my concise, light-order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how
A lot of people are like, God damn it, I want to go to Japan right now. I have saved up so much money. And you ruin it for everyone.